So just a couple of days ago at BlizzCon, we first heard of Ragnaros as well as Varian Wrynn, and guess who just arrived on the Heroes of the Storm PTR. Now the first interesting thing to note, as you can see right here at the top of the screen, he is classified as a multi-class, and he's gonna be both a warrior and an assassin. Alrighty, so welcome to the Sky Temple. Now Varian got, arguably speaking, one of the best talent builds in the game. He has a wide variety of talents that really allow him to be played completely differently than you would normally see him being played. So say, for example, you want to be playing him as an assassin, that's totally viable, but you want to play him as a tank as well, that is totally viable too. You can even sort of like mix and match the different kinds of talents, but the thing that makes it really interesting is, for example, going to be my ultimate abilities right here. I've actually got three, the only heroes in the game, or the only hero right here in the game that has that. I've got Taunt, Colossus Smash, as well as the Twin Blades of Fury. And as you can see, Taunt, for example, gains health and loses attack speed, making me a complete tank. But anyway, for level 1, we'll get started right there at the very beginning, probably a little bit better. I'm gonna get started right here with Overpower. Usually I try and play new heroes that are introduced into the game a little bit more on like the safer end of things. Usually probably the best way of, you know, playing it, because I don't really want to take any unnecessary risks. Although so far, they are definitely playing very aggressive, and it looks like we're going to be able to, at the very least, shoot him away here for the moment. Now, I've got a couple of really powerful, interesting abilities as well. I can actually slow him down just fine. Oof. Almost got him, actually. Alright, I've got a set of, like, really interesting abilities as well, but they're not, like, the most complicated ones in the game. Really, what makes him interesting and what makes him, like, very unique is going to be his talent selection. Can you go arms, please? Sure. Sure. So basically what he's asking right now is if I can go arms. Now arms is one of the specializations that you have as a warrior in World of Warcraft, and that's really where obviously Varian is going to be based. I wanted to play him relatively tanky, but as you may have noticed by our composition, we've actually got triple support, and I don't think we're really going to need to. Anyhow, so my very first ability is going to be my Q. My Lion's Fang, apparently is what it's called, slows enemies that are affected by it, and it hits sort of enemies like in a line, making it pretty interesting in that regard as well. I can basically throw it forward. Feels a little bit similar to like Penetrating Round from, for example, Raynar. A very, very interesting ability in that regard, I suppose, because it slows enemies and it deals some damage to them as well. My W ability is probably what makes him like very powerful, and that's going to be the Parry. Parry will allow me to block incoming basic attacks. Now what that means is that I can use it consistently. And I'm actually not really getting any kind of... I need to be careful there. I can block 100% of the incoming damage from my enemy's basic attacks. And so far, actually, a lot of the allies are ended up falling here. A little bit unfortunate for us. I'm going to try and move back into the combat. But so far, the enemy team is looking really, really solid. Anyhow, so it blocks 100% of the incoming basic attack damage for, I believe, 1.25 seconds. Yes. Very, very good. Then I got my charge ability as well, and charge will charge at an enemy, slowing them down as well. I'm actually going to try and use it right here on their... Oh, come on. There we go. I used it on their Illidan. Trying to still stay alive here to the best of my abilities. I think at level 4, even though I'm going to be able to... You know what? I'm going to pick Warbringer here. I'm going to pick Warbringer. We're going to go arms. You asked me to go arms, I'll go arms. I guess he's just asking me to become a bruiser, really, because we've already got ETC as the tank in this game as well. So right now, my abilities will start charging, and as you can see, we do quite a bit of damage with that as well. Very, very nice. Alright, alright. So far, this is looking pretty solid. Not too amazing. We're gonna need to start soaking again. Okay, all good, though. All good so far. Now, the one thing that we haven't quite discussed yet, and that a lot of his talents are based off of, is going to be Heroic Strike. And Heroic Strike is my passive ability. Every 18 seconds, I will be able to deal additional damage, but the interesting thing about this is that every single time I use a basic attack, that, you know, cooldown is going to be reduced by 2 seconds. Very, very interesting skill right there. And a lot of the basic, or a lot of the abilities are going to be based around that. Now, sadly, Ally still overextending just a little bit, does end up falling, but as far as experience goes, we're looking to be pretty okay. So my E ability, as you can see, it charges an enemy, and we actually just managed to dodge all of those arcane missiles that were flying at us. Don't really want to be taking any unnecessary risks, though. And I really don't want to, you know, fight on top of the towers either. Now, the thing that, like, makes this cool as well is that he can be, like, You know how we have like Karazim, for example, right? Who is definitely like sort of like a mix between a damage dealer and a tank. Or like a mix between a damage dealer and a support. He is most definitely, you know, most of the time going to be like a support, right? That's sort of like the main thing that you have. But on this hero, because of the level 10 talents, you really can change up the abilities significantly. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get second wind here. This basically means that I get additional healing from my basic attacks. And the reason why I'm going for that talent instead of over the other ones, we actually are going to be able to do a lot of damage here. Sadly, not quite enough because their Karazim just came in as well. And actually, we're going to just have to back up. No reason to risk it. The interesting thing right here is that when I level 10 talent that I'm going to go for, the Twin Blades of Fury, will increase my attack speed significantly and therefore trigger my heroic strike more often as well. Now, we're going to try and simply just hit him to the best of our abilities. He does almost end up falling there. Not quite enough just yet. But so far, so good. So far, so good. I'm really gonna try and deal some additional damage in this one. Oh man, he just went there. I don't know why he went that far. Alright, alright. So you really are gonna have to pay attention to what talents Varian is going to be taking when you're going up against him as well. And speaking of which, I think we're gonna go ahead and select that right now and have a quick look. So he decided to go for something a little bit differently. He's definitely gonna be able to deal quite a bunch of damage as well. And actually, why am I going to the middle lane when the objective is going to be available? No particular reason for us to be right there at all. And you can see, like, oh my god, that charge, that Warbringer is really powerful. That's a really good ability. Sadly, he does go a little deep. I may be able to clean him up. Yep, I will. Hope I don't end up falling, though, because of it. And it looks like that, sadly, is going to be the case. Now, my allies, meanwhile, were on the objective. They're going to be able to probably stay here for a little while longer, but they're definitely going to have to retreat. Oh, man. I don't think they saw the enemies coming in. And sadly, most of the team does get cleaned up there, but not without dealing sufficient amounts of damage right here as well. So yeah, I just simply ended up taking quite a little bit. But you can see, like, siege damage and hero damage wise, we're looking pretty good. But we could definitely, if we wanted to, you know, become the taunt of the team as well and go for that talent. Now, we're actually the first hero in the game as well that's got 3 different kinds of heroics. That is completely unheard of. Obviously, for a long time, we had Abathur in a game who had only 1. Later on, that did get fixed, obviously, or it did get added. But it's pretty interesting to see that they're trying to, you know, mess around with the different kinds of setups. And, oh, really? Oh, I was gonna say, I'm gonna be able to just keep on pushing here, though. We don't quite have our level 10s just yet. And I think we should try and just simply pick it up as fast as possible. So notice right there, right? You saw me split my sword in 2. I am now using the Twin Blades of Fury. The Twin Blades of Fury changes the apparel of my character, so right now the enemies know what's going on. But you can see, I play completely differently. All of a sudden, I have got additional movement speed. I still have the talents that I picked and the abilities that I had previously as well. Arms is actually 1 sword. He's actually correct in that regard. All good, though. I'm trying to go for the heavy damage output right now, which is really what we are going to be lacking right here. But we could go with the Colossus Smash as well, which is another, like, damage-focused kind of build. It smashes the targets, dealing damage to them. And we could also go with the Taunt. That increases, you know, the amount of, you know, sustain that I'm going to be able to throw at an enemy. And actually, apparently we want to go deep. I don't know if we want to go that deep. No, we really don't want to go that deep. That's really pointless. Alright. So far, we're looking pretty good. I think we're going to be able to push onwards right here. I actually thought with arms, he was going to simply just mean that I should be playing a damage-based build. Fair enough, actually. No, we don't want to be caught here, guys. I don't think we want to be caught here. Alright, we were. I don't know about this. Notice, though, I don't have an activated ability right here, right? So, no, this is... Oh my god, we're getting murdered. Guys, just leave. Why would we fight in a choke like that? Oh man, I'm gonna be able to hopefully get out. I'm gonna still be able to block a lot of the basic attacks that are incoming, but sadly, most of the team just did end up falling, except for myself. Still going strong for the Alliance. Now, obviously, it's going to take quite a little bit of time before we're going to be real solid with him. There's going to be a lot of different options and different kinds of builds available that make him interesting, and a lot of different kinds of, you know, talents to mess around with as well to really make him a completely different kind of setup. And sadly, oh man, sadly, I do end up falling once again. Just a little bit too much damage coming out of the heroes there, and actually that Warbringer talent doing a lot of work to us. Now, level 13. is actually a really cool set of talents as well. We got a couple of different banners, and after just reading them, I'm going to make the assumption here that the banner of Ironforge is probably in most scenarios going to be very helpful. Let's say if you wanted more ability power, or we got a team based around ability power, or movement speed, for example, for like melee heroes, banner of Stormwind could be good as well. I'm going to make the assumption though, that if you're not entirely sure what you should be doing, I'm actually gonna go over there. We're gonna probably be best with the banner of Ironforge for most of the things. Now, one of the things that I really like about this is that it actually plays the Ironforge music as well. I played WoW for a very long time, and I still do. It's great to you know, hear a little bit of the in-game music as well. All right. Well, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do a whole lot here. Maybe able to get around. Oh man. And there we do hear the banner go down. It does get destroyed though. It sort of plays like a oh, man. Nice. Actually, we may just want to go for their healer instead then. It plays out pretty similarly as sort of like, for example, a healing totem. We're just trying to do damage here. And we're going to be able to, at the very least, keep them alive or like deal the damage here for a little while. But so far, I gotta be honest, they have been able to deal a lot of damage to us, and while we aren't dying either, and I've been trying to do the damage to them, they are gonna come in right now and go pretty aggressively. May very well need a little bit more sustain here. If I plan on being alive for the time being, I'm gonna try my very best and run away here. Run away, little girl. Run away. And, oh man. Don't tell me I'm gonna live. Don't tell me I'm gonna live. That makes no sense. Alright, banner of Stormwind. Or, of Ironforge, rather. And they're gonna be able to kill it quite easily here as well. Oh man, no way, no way, no way, no way. You can't believe I'm still alive. So this all comes down to really me picking my first two talents right there. The Overpower as well as the Stun on the Heartbringer. Dude, get out. Get out, get out. Oh, he was fighting there still? Alright, alright, alright. But really, like, that stun helped out a lot. Now, if I would have gone for example, the shield wall, though, which prevents all incoming damage, so besides just, you know, for example, the basic attack damage, it would prevent all of the incoming damage, making me practically invulnerable on, like, a very, very short charge, I suppose, in that regard, you know? Like, it will only cost very small amounts of mana. I believe, yeah, it's 15 mana, it's like nothing, and I can be invulnerable for 2 charges for up to 2.5 seconds. That's really good. That's really, really very powerful. So I could choose that as well if you needed more of like a tank in this composition. And I wouldn't be surprised if like someone like Varian is going to be quite a popular pick in many scenarios. Because right now, you know, I'm playing with the Twin Blades of Fury, and you know, I've also got the Life Leech at level 7 on the second wind. This really allows me to become sort of like playing a Samuro, right? Like a damage dealer in that regard, and sort of like an assassin. But I could also become like a total tank and really prevent any of the enemies from being able to take me out whatsoever. Now, I'm hoping here... Come on, man. They're fighting on towers. Come on, guys. Where are you? Oh, man. Come on. Oh, no way. Man, I was trying my very best to get over there. Sadly, he was fighting on the tower, and it did allow him to be a little bit more sustainable. I'm trying to be more sustainable myself here as well. Gotta be able to stay alive at the very least for a little while longer. I may end up falling here, though. Still just using my W ability here as often as I possibly can. And really... I mean, I'm so scared to go in. I'm so scared to go in. Alright, let's go. Let's go. We have so much sustain. Well, obviously we've got a whole bunch of heroes here with us as well that keep me alive, but still, that was so cool. That was so cool. And then like the uniqueness as well of like my my heroic strike that increases my damage output, and a couple of the talents based around the heroic strike. It makes for such a cool composition and such a cool hero to try out as well. As really, like if you don't like one playstyle, instead of like switching to a hero, right? Because a lot of the heroes are bound to a certain playstyle. We actually just managed to do a very nice set of damage here. And actually, we may very well be coming back, which is great. You know, if you don't like one playstyle, great. Just, you know, try out any of the other different kinds of, you know, talents that are available, and he will play out completely differently. I'm gonna go ahead right here and pick the Mortal Strike. Heroic Strike reduces the enemy healing. Just simply trying to make sure that they're not gonna be able to be as sustainable in combat. And obviously, Heroic Strike is being triggered very often because of my Twin Blades of Fury. Here we go. Oh man, this is the beginning of a comeback. I can feel it. This is Heroes of the Storm, right? We can always come back. We still have so many towers and whatnot to mess around with as well. Oh, man. That really allows us to hopefully start dealing some additional damage. Now, Armor of Fury needs to be very careful. No, no, no. Don't go that direction, dude. Once again, they throw out my... Come on, get him! Oh, man. He does have the stasis on him, sadly. A little bit unfortunate in that regard. And I very well may end up falling here. Imagine, though, if we wouldn't have those 2 levels of a disadvantage, we would have been able to do so much. Sadly, a very weird kind of targeting on our regard. I think we may have gone a little bit too aggressive on Varian. I think if we would have, like, focused the damage a little bit more. And I also think if, like, Malfurion wouldn't have walked up to the north to really move around there. I think if we moved together, you know, and really made use of the Kharazim abilities, we would have been in a really powerful position. Well, speaking of which, I think he's going to end up falling, and we may very well end up losing our core here. But I'm not going to lie, Varian, a extremely interesting character, something completely unique to the game, and something that we haven't quite seen before just yet. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, because I'm pretty sure that whatever happens, we are going to end up losing the game, but not without dealing sufficient amounts of damage ourselves as well, and really being like a jack of all trades. So Varian Wrynn, an extremely interesting hero, where the talent build seems to be one of the very best, if not the best in the game right now, just because there are so many, you know, different options available. I am most definitely going to be playing him more in the time to come as well, in particular when he's going to be available in the live game. Currently, he's only on the PTR, but as you know, in just a week or so from now, we will be able to play him in the live version of the game as well. I'm going to be playing him a heck of a lot, so if you are interested in seeing some additional combat, definitely do go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. And other than that, I want to thank you all very much so for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I'll see you in the next one.